If you feel stuck, wishing for a profound transformation but unsure where to begin, take a deep breath. You don't have to feel lost anymore. I understand that feeling of wanting to move forward and not being able to. That's why, in this video, I'm going to give you a clear plan. The 7 transformative steps based on the teachings of Louise Hay for you to take control of your mind and your results. And at the end, we'll have a practical exercise, the mirror and gratitude ritual, that you can start applying today. Will you join me on this journey? Because the life you dream of isn't far away. It's just waiting for you to learn how to use the right key. And today, you'll discover what it is. Prepare for a journey of self-discovery that goes beyond quick tips, delving into practical and transformative methods. We will learn together how to clearly define what you truly want, embrace your truth, and initiate a movement with love that will propel you into the life you were born to live. Your transformation begins now. The first step to any transformation, as Louise Hay teaches us, is clarity. You need to know exactly what you want for your life without vague words or desires. Often we find ourselves complaining about what we don't have, but rarely do we stop to visualize in detail what we truly desire. This lack of clarity is like trying to navigate without a compass. You can move, but you won't get anywhere intentionally. I am the clarity that illuminates my path. Clarity isn't just about material goals. It extends to all areas of your life. How do you want to feel in your relationships? What kind of energy do you want to have in your body? How do you envision your prosperity, not just in money, but in an abundance of time and joy? Louise Hay reminds us that the universe is a mirror, and it reflects back to us what we emit with conviction. If your message is confused, the result will be too. To achieve this clarity, an inner dive is necessary, an honest conversation with your soul. Ask yourself, what truly makes me vibrate? What brings me peace? What would I do if there were no fear or limitations? Louise Hay encouraged us to dream big, not to be limited by past beliefs. I deserve to dream big and fulfill my deepest desires. When you have clarity, every decision becomes easier, every step firmer. You become a magnet for opportunities that align with your most authentic desires. The energy you emanate is focused, and the universe responds to that vibration. And this clarity prepares us for the next step, which is embracing your truth. You have already taken the first and fundamental step, clarity. Now the second step, as vital as the first, is to embrace your truth. Louise Hay teaches us that we cannot build a life of fulfillment on a foundation of denial or self-deception. Embracing your truth means looking at yourself, your experiences, your emotions, with an unconditional gaze of love and acceptance, without judgment. It's as if you looked in the mirror and said, I see you, I accept you, I love you, exactly as you are. Often we carry burdens from the past, hurts, guilt, resentments that prevent us from moving forward. We believe that to be worthy of love and success, we need to be perfect, without flaws. But Louise Hay reminds us that perfection already exists within us, in our essence. Imperfections are just parts of our journey, lessons in disguise. I am the acceptance that sets me free. Embracing your truth also means recognizing your limiting beliefs. Those inner voices that whisper, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, this is too hard for me. Louise Hay teaches us that these are just old tapes, recordings of past experiences that do not define who you are today. You have the power to rewrite that narrative. I deserve the truth that empowers me. When you embrace your truth, you free yourself from the need for external approval and align with your inner power. This authenticity is a magnet for good, for people and situations that resonate with your essence. It is an act of courage and self-love that paves the way for the next step, which is movement with love. You already have the clarity of what you want and the courage to face where you are. But, as Louise Hay would teach us, knowing and feeling are not enough. You need to act. The big trap many face is an excess of knowledge without proper application. We can read all the books on well-being, finance, or relationships, but if there is no movement, if we don't translate this wisdom into concrete steps, it remains just a theory. True transformation happens in the doing, in putting yourself in motion, even if the path is not yet perfectly lit. The concept of massive action transforms through Louise Hay's lens into movement with love. It's not about a frantic race, but a constant and intentional flow. The perfect plan is a myth that paralyzes us. Perfection lies in the act of starting, in the first step taken with confidence and self-acceptance. When you move, fear begins to lose its grip, and the universe, which is pure energy, responds to your movement. Remember, I am the force that moves and propels me. To initiate this movement, you don't have to wait for big opportunities. Start with what you have, where you are, and do what you can. Louise Hay always encouraged us to be gentle with ourselves, valuing every small effort. It could be a call, some research, a new 10-minute daily habit. The consistency of these small acts builds a solid foundation of confidence and momentum. And soon, we will have a practical exercise for you to feel this energy of movement in your body and soul, anchoring this new identity. It's natural for errors or failures to arise when starting something new. But, as Louise Hay teaches us, there are no mistakes, only learning. If a plan doesn't work, we adjust the plan, not the goal. Persistence, fueled by self-love and belief in the process of life, is what leads us to mastery. Every step, every adjustment, every new beginning is an opportunity to become your highest self, preparing for the next challenge, which is facing your dragons. You have already taken the first steps with love, and that is wonderful. But, as in every journey of growth, there are moments when we face what seems to be a great obstacle, a dragon, to be confronted. Make no mistake, this dragon is not out there. It resides within you, manifesting as fear, doubt, procrastination, or the voice of self-criticism. Louise Hay teaches us that what we most desire in life is often exactly on the other side of what we most avoid doing, because that is where the true challenge for our soul lies. These inner dragons are, in fact, old thought patterns and limiting beliefs that we have accepted as truth. Perhaps it's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment from others, or the feeling of not being good enough. A story you've heard and repeated for so long that it has become part of your identity. Louise Hay always reminded us that I am the only person who thinks in my mind, and therefore, we have the power to rewrite any old script. I am capable of overcoming any inner challenge. To face these dragons, the first step is to name them. Identify the fear, write it down, say it out loud. By naming it, you take away some of its power. Ask yourself, what decision have you been avoiding? What conversation have you been postponing? What habit do you need to transform? Louise Hay shows us that the pain of facing this truth is temporary, but the regret of not having acted can be eternal. It is an act of self-love to look at these shadows and accept them as part of your learning journey. When you choose to face your dragon, even trembling, even with fear, something profound changes within you. You prove to yourself that you are greater than what holds you back, gaining a strength and identity that no one can take away. This inner battle, though challenging, purifies and strengthens your being, preparing you for a new level of existence. And to sustain this courage and growth, it is essential that you begin to cultivate daily practices that nourish your soul and reinforce your new truth. Stay with us until the end, as we will have a practical exercise that will help you feel this energy even more palpably, anchoring this new identity in your being. You have already built a solid foundation: clarity, truth, movement, confrontation, and daily practice. Now, for this transformation to be not just a passing impulse, but an intrinsic part of who you are, it is essential to establish a daily practice. Louise Hay teaches us that it is not what we do once that changes our lives, but what we do every day. Consistency, even in small gestures, is the foundation that sustains progress and transforms it into a new identity. A daily routine, however simple, is what separates those who merely dream from those who truly transform. It doesn't have to be grand. It can be just 10 minutes of meditation, writing 3 things you are grateful for, or looking in the mirror and affirming out loud who you are becoming. The important thing is repetition with intention. Louise Hay always emphasized that I am the only person who thinks in my mind, and by repeating positive actions and thoughts daily, you are reprogramming your brain to accept this new truth. I am the consistency that leads me to victory. There will be days when the desire to practice will be minimal, when the mind will whisper, "Not today." But it is precisely these days that matter most. When you show up and keep your commitment, even without desire, you are telling your nervous system that you are not controlled by mood, but guided by your purpose. This discipline forges unwavering confidence, silences fear, and crushes laziness, because the brain learns through repetition. You stop relying on motivation and start being driven by your new identity. This daily practice is your emotional ritual, something that aligns your body, mind, and vision, protecting and strengthening you. It is the structure that sustains long-term performance, transforming the transformation from something you want into who you are. And to help you start or deepen this practice, I want to invite you to an exercise we will do together soon. It will help you feel this energy even more palpably, preparing you for the next step, elevating your light. You have already built a solid foundation: clarity, truth, movement, confrontation, and daily practice. Now, for your growth to be constant and to avoid complacency, it is crucial to raise your standards and measure what truly matters. Louise Hay teaches us that the universe does not give us what we want, but what we demand of ourselves. This means living by a higher standard, seeking excellence not as perfectionism, but as conscious and continuous progress. I am the expression of my highest excellence. Raising your standards means not tolerating mediocrity in any area of your life. If you tolerate doing things halfway, you will live halfway. If you accept mediocre results, you will reap mediocrity. This applies to your energy, health, relationships, vocabulary, discipline, and focus. When you raise your standards, you declare war on mediocrity and demand more from yourself than anyone else ever would. This attitude creates a strong character and a life in constant ascent. The second part of this step is to measure everything that matters. Louise Hay, with her practical wisdom, would tell us that you only improve what you measure. If you don't monitor, you're just guessing, gambling on luck. The brain learns from feedback, and metrics are the clearest way to give yourself that feedback. Monitor your health, your emotions, your performance, your finances, the quality of your relationships. Life is constantly giving you data. The question is whether you are observing with the eyes of a master or an amateur. When you raise your standards and measure your progress, you gain personal mastery and leadership. People around you will start to respect you more. Opportunities will arise, and you will feel in control, because, in fact, you will be. This combination creates a system that sustains high performance in the long term. And although some may distance themselves when they see your new level of demand, many others will be inspired because excellence is contagious. This elevation of your light is what prepares you for the next and final step, the celebration of the soul. You have walked a path of courage and transformation. You defined your clarity, embraced your truth, moved with love, faced your dragons, cultivated daily practices, and raised your standards. Now, we reach a crucial point that most people forget, and that Louise Hay teaches us is vital for continued growth: celebration. Celebration is not just a luxury, it is a necessity for your internal system. If you don't pause to acknowledge how much you've evolved, your brain interprets that all the effort was not worth it, and this can lead you back to old patterns. Celebration, from Louise Hay's perspective, is an act of profound self-love and gratitude. It's not about an empty celebration, buying something expensive or posting on social media. It's about feeling the victory within, pausing and looking back with presence, remembering who you were and recognizing who you have become. It's about crying with joy, smiling alone, embracing yourself with authenticity. When you celebrate consciously, you reinforce the cycle of growth, associating effort with reward. I am the celebration of my own journey. This practice of celebrating is what emotionally anchors your progress, consolidating the new identity you've achieved. It protects the fire of your transformation when the initial excitement fades, and after celebrating comes the magic part, choosing the next level. Growth has no end. It renews itself, reinvents itself, expands. Every victory is a springboard for a new vision, a new dream, a new destiny. You are no longer the same person. You think, feel, and act differently, and therefore you deserve to dream differently. Many stop when they reach a goal, but Louise Hay reminds us that there is no end, only expansion and overflow. Fall in love with the process, with the journey. Life is not about reaching a place and stopping, but about growing, serving, and impacting. And that has no limit, because your potential is infinite. By celebrating and choosing the next level, you prepare to start a new cycle with even more clarity, strength, and purpose, living in the totality of possibilities. For this video, I suggest the Mirror and Gratitude Ritual. It's a simple, yet incredibly powerful practice that Louise Hay taught us to value. It helps us anchor the new identity we are building and reinforce self-love daily. The Mirror and Gratitude Ritual set aside a quiet moment in your day, preferably in the morning or before bed, and find a mirror where you can see yourself fully, or at least your face. 1. Anchoring presence. Start by closing your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply 3 times, feeling the air enter and leave, connecting with your body and the present moment. Feel your feet on the ground, your breath flowing. 2. The gaze of love. Open your eyes and look directly into your own eyes in the mirror. Allow yourself to see the wonderful person you are, with all your experiences and learnings. Acknowledge your journey so far. 3. Affirmations from the heart. Gently and firmly, say aloud to yourself, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Repeat this affirmation a few times, feeling each word. Then add, I am the strength that guides me and the light that illuminates me. And then, I deserve all the joy and prosperity that life has to offer. 4. Transformative gratitude. Now think of at least one thing you are grateful for in your life today. It can be something big or small. Say aloud to your reflection, "I am grateful for," and complete the sentence. Feel the emotion of gratitude fill your heart. 5. Setting intention. Conclude the ritual by setting a positive intention for your day or for your next step on the journey. For example, today I choose to act with courage and love in everything I do. This ritual, practiced consistently, will nourish your soul, strengthen your self-esteem, and align you with the energy of love and abundance. It is a daily reminder of your inner power and your ability to create the life you desire. We've reached the end of our journey today, but the true transformation is just beginning. Remember that every step, no matter how small, taken with love and intention, is a giant leap towards the life you deserve. Apply Louise Hay's teachings with gentleness and persistence, and watch the magic unfold in your world. Believe in your inner power, your capacity for healing, and the abundance the universe has for you. If you felt that this message touched your heart and inspired you to take the next step, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you will continue to receive content that nourishes your soul and guides you towards self-love and inner peace. Together, we will build a life of fulfillment and joy.